Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review try-on first impressions of the Neutrogena SkinClearing Complexion Perfector. So I got this at the drugstore. This is what it looks like. It comes in a 1 ounce little container, and this is supposed to provide sheer coverage while clearing breakouts. So I do have combination skin, so my skin is a little oily in the T-zone, which means it's a little prone to breakouts. So anything that's going to cure my breakouts while I wear makeup is kind of a really cool idea. I almost just dropped a little thing. That was cool. This is supposed to have micro clear technology, and it's a salicylic acid acne treatment. Which now I'm a little scared because salicylic acid is supposed to be pretty drying. But I saw this at the drugstore and I just couldn't help but try it out. I'm trying to see. It comes with a little thing on the back with a whole bunch of instructions. So on here it says that the only active ingredient is the salicylic acid, which is pretty common in acne products. It says the use is for treatment of acne. And it says directions: cleanse skin thoroughly before applying. Seems pretty self-explanatory. Cover the entire affected layer with a thin layer 1 to 3 times daily. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So I didn't realize that you can apply this more than once. I mean, I know it says that you can get sheer coverage, but now I'm thinking this is going to be really sheer coverage. But it claims to be a foundation, so we'll see. It says excessive drying to skin may occur, which is a little scary. Start with 1 application daily, then gradually increase to 2 or 3 times as needed or as directed by a doctor. Okay. If bothersome dryness or peeling occurs, reduce application to once a day or every other day. Okay, cool. Well, we're just gonna rip that off. So I did pull this up on the CVS website. I did get this at CVS. I did have a $4 off any Neutrogena product, face product manufacturer's coupon. So their website says that it's $9.99, but I paid $10.49 minus the $4 coupon. So I guess it probably just depends on where you go. And this does say that it's a new item, so that's pretty sweet. I will say that the color selection is not great. I mean, these are the colors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. It goes fair, light, light medium, medium, and then deep. So I picked up fair because when I did light, I thought that it was actually pretty dark. So I don't know how fair this is. And I usually, I'm like a fair to light neutral, so I wouldn't say I'm like that fair, but we're gonna see how this looks. So, and it doesn't tell you whether you're supposed to use a beauty blender or a sponge or a brush, so I'm gonna do half my face in beauty blender, half of my face in a brush, and we're gonna see how it applies. So this is the color. It's not that fair. I would actually say that this is pretty light, so, but like I said, the color range is not great. But on the website, it does say it's a liquid foundation with salicylic acid, blah-de-blah, hypoallergenic, won't clog pores. They all say that, and they all still clog my pores. I did moisturize because it did say to moisturize before applying this, but I didn't put any primer on, so we'll see how this goes. Its overall rating is 3.7 stars out of 5, and there's 622 reviews. So, there's a lot that say it works well. Oh, my cat is trying to play with stuff. In the details, it does say that this is a tinted moisturizer. It works across skin tones to glide on perfectly and blend naturally with the skin. But then it goes on to say, this liquid foundation instantly blurs the look of acne and minimizes the appearance of pores. Oh, hi Loon. My cat is going to join us in on this video, I guess. I didn't even realize she was in here. So yeah, just don't mind her. She's just gonna walk around, apparently. Not sure how something could be a tinted moisturizer at the same time as being a liquid foundation. Kind of curious about that, but we're just gonna try it and see what happens. So I do have some breakouts, just super cute. All I have done is my eyes and my eyebrows, and I do have like little red spots, and like I have a little bit of acne on my face, so we're really gonna see if this works. And I'm gonna check in at the end of the day, or at the end of the night. So I'll wear it for like a good portion of the evening. It's 6:30 right now, and I will check in like right before I take all this off, and we'll see how it looks, and I'll give you my final thoughts on it. And with that, let's get started. Okay, so I scooted you guys in closer, and here is what this skin moisturizer, foundation, whatever, kind of looks out a little bit blended out. So I'm a little nervous. It's not really drying down, but we're gonna try it and see what happens. So I have my little plastic palette that I use for all my foundation because, I don't know, I used to like put foundation on my hand, and then I would put foundation on my face, and I would literally walk out with like a spot of foundation on my hand. So I ordered these off of Amazon. I actually wanted to get a glass one. A YouTuber on here who's amazing, love her, Tati Westbrook. She also goes by Glam Life Guru. I will link her channel down below. She has a glass palette, and I never really thought about not using my hand until very recently. And I love these. It was like maybe $5 on Amazon, and it comes with a little spatula, and it's wonderful, and I highly recommend it. I can leave that link down below as well if you're interested. So to apply the foundation, moisturizer, whatever this is, with the brush, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. It's got like a nice little flat head. This is what I like to use for my foundations when I use a brush. I have another brush I use, but I'm not as crazy about it. So this gives me pretty good luck, so we're going to try this. And then I will be using a Real Techniques, their sponge. They're like original orange sponge to apply the foundation on my face with a sponge. So I'm just literally going to go half and half. This half can be sponge, this half can be brush. So I'm going to put pretty generous amount on here. And then I'm just going to take my little sponge, and I'm just going to go right in, and then I'm going to go right on my face, because that's kind of what I do with my regular foundation. And this is like really liquidy, but also kind of moussey when I'm like trying to pick it up off of the thing. So got my hair back, and let's go in. So I'm going to start on my cheek. The color is actually really, really good, but I can't tell if that's because it's blending into my skin really well, or if it's because it's just blending away and all I can see is my skin. So yeah, this is definitely not fair, because this is like my tan state, because, you know, summer. I do have this like monster right here and right here, which is why actually I wanted to try this product out. And it's actually covering it really well, surprisingly. Wow. Okay. It's actually covering really well. I'm taking a generous amount because I'm not afraid of using this up. It does say it has salicylic acid, and it's supposed to be kind of drying, so I don't really want to put it right under my eyes. So I'm just going to put it like right under my bags, and then I'm going to just put a little concealer down there, just because, you know, I don't want anything extra to dry my face and my under eyes. The under eyes are precious. So it's pretty easy to work with. So far, so good. Okay. So first half face is done, and it's actually looking pretty good. I'm filming pretty late and the sun is kind of gone and there's shadows, not shadows, and there's clouds out there. So I'm really sorry if the lighting kind of sucks. Still working out my lighting situation, but I mean, looks good in my viewfinder and looks good in my mirror, so really pleasantly surprised. Okay, I'm gonna go in and use my Real Techniques brush to do the same thing on this half of the face. I'm just gonna go in and like dab in here and just gonna kind of start going in circular motions. Okay, wow, so that applied with a brush pretty good too. Oh wow, there goes my lighting. I can see all like the scary clouds that we're getting out here. So it applied pretty good with the brush too. I think I prefer the beauty blender though, or not the beauty, my beauty sponge, because I do think that like once I start going over areas, especially like my nose where it is a little oily, it is starting to rub off a little bit. And this is supposed to be like a sheer tint, so there's not like an awful lot of coverage. There's more coverage than I thought. When I initially was looking at all of the like descriptions on this, and when I actually first like tried it on my hand, I was like, oh my god, this is going to like be absolutely crazy. I thought that it was going to be really sheer, and I was like it says the foundation, but then it's also saying it's like a tinted moisturizer, so I don't know, but this definitely feels like more of a sheer foundation than it does a tinted moisturizer, which is cool because I really don't like tinted moisturizers. I really like a lot of coverage. So far so good. I do think I prefer using my beauty sponge and just kind of stamping it in, because it does start to take off some of the product once you start using a brush. Like you can't swirl it too much, otherwise this starts to come off and you can see like patches of your skin coming through. And I don't really recommend like layering it on heavy-handed, just because the more you layer on, I feel like you can't really build this an awful lot. Like you do get like one nice even layer, but then if you start adding more and more and more, like more is not more in this situation, it does start to come off a little bit. So I am going to go do the rest of my face. I am not going to set this with powder because I normally set my foundation with powder. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to put some bronzer and some blush, and I'm going to see how well it holds if it starts to come off, and I'll put a little concealer on top of this underneath my eyes, see how that goes on, and I will check back in with you at the end of the night in really crappy lighting, warning you now, and I will give you my final thoughts on this. Okay, see you in a little bit. Okay guys, so I'm back for like a little final check-in, final thoughts. I've spent all night editing my videos and filming and all that fun stuff. So this foundation did go through my little test of time. It's about 9:30, so this foundation has been on for like 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, I understand this isn't all day, but I feel like I have a good gauge of how I feel about this situation. So sorry for the really crappy lighting. I don't have lights, so I always film with natural sunlight, and right now it's 9:30, so it's really dark. But yeah, so final thoughts are, if you're going to use this, if you're gonna buy this, I would definitely recommend using a beauty blender or a beauty sponge, because the brush did not do it very much justice. I did not like using the brush, although I normally don't put my foundation on with the brush, so that's really no surprise to me. However, when I used the brush, I feel like it did take some of the product off of my face as I kept putting more on, so we don't want that. I did put concealer under my eyes and on my nose and a little bit on my chin, and overall it laid fine on this like foundation moisturizing tint, whatever this is. It's not like horrible. It didn't take any of it off as I'm like looking at myself like really close up. Yeah, so it laid fine, and I did put powder over it, and that was fine as well. I did notice that this does cling to like my dry patches, which I'm like not in love with, and it does kind of like cling to any imperfections. So like I have this like monster pimple right here, which I was hoping this would like cover and like fix, I guess. And it does cling to it a little bit, but it gives me like an overall like pretty okay sheer tint. It's not as sheer as I thought, but obviously definitely not full coverage, not even medium coverage. I didn't think that this really built on itself. The more I put on, like the more of itself it took off, so definitely not very buildable. However, I did put like bronzer and highlight on, and it didn't take any of the product off, but it also didn't like add anything to my makeup look. It like almost gets kind of lost and a little bit muddy, so I don't recommend putting other products on top of this. Like I said, the powder under my eyes was fine. The concealer was fine. I did set this with setting spray. I'm like not 100% sure it made it last any longer, but it also didn't hurt any. Also an observation, when I put it on, I did notice a little bit of stinging. So that acid is in there. I definitely did feel it on my face. Overall thoughts, interesting product, probably a pass for me in the future. I will give it another go during the day, kind of see how it plays out. I'll leave an update down below in my description box. But yeah, so interesting product. Just wish it was formulated a little different. Might work for people with really oily skin. I wouldn't recommend it for sensitive skin, and definitely not for dry skin. And putting other makeup on top of it, kind of a miss. This is definitely not made to be like a real foundation. It is definitely more of a tinted moisturizer. So if you want that like overall even look, this could be a good option. So overall, those are my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for this like crappy update at the end of the video, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Please make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.